JBN, we keep you informed. Popular female bar operator gunned down on Whitehall Avenue. A businesswoman is now dead following a gun attack at her bar along Whitehall Avenue in Kingston 8 on Wednesday. She has been identified as 40-year-old Natalie Caseman of a Red Hills Road and United Kingdom address. Police report that about 3 p.m., Caseman was with two customers inside her bar, which is located close to the intersection of Whitehall Avenue with Red Hills Road, when a gunman entered and shot her several times in the upper body before fleeing. The police were summoned to the scene and found Caseman lying in a pool of blood. She was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. The two customers were not harmed. Caseman is the daughter of a late Red Hills Road businessman known as Soldi, who had operated a small supermarket at the intersection of Red Hills Road and Whitehall Avenue for years. Homicide detectives are probing the incident. Security guard who disarmed cop remanded. A security guard accused of attacking and injuring a policeman before relieving the cop of his service pistol last month was remanded in custody when he appeared in court on Tuesday. The accused, 23-year-old Romario Kevin Abrahams, is charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. His case was transferred to the Gun Court Division of the Supreme Court, where he is to appear today. Reports are that about 1 p.m. Thursday, August 22, Abrams went to the Crossroads Police Station in St. Andrew to give a statement and submit a medical report in relation to a case of assault occasioning actual bodily harm. While being assisted, he reportedly attacked and disarmed a policeman before quickly making his escape. The police said Abrams was held the day after at the Spanish Town Hospital while trying to get medical attention for an injury received to his hand during the incident at the station a day earlier. A firearm was reportedly recovered from the accused, who was then slapped with various charges. SOEs have been a success, says Chang. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang on Thursday extolled what he said were the successes of the ongoing states of emergency in some sections of the island. He made the remarks at a press conference at Jamaica House to declare 2 additional states of emergency in Clarendon and St Catherine. Chang quoted figures to support his claim. I would like to remind the country of the success. In St Andrew South, we have seen a reduction of 75% from 5.7 murders per week. We are now down to 1.21, Chang said. The real comparison in St James was 6.33 per week in 2017. It was reduced to 2 per week. We have seen a slight uptick, but we are making adjustments and will be able to make efforts to save the lives of our citizens, he added. Chang said intelligence has revealed that adjustments are being made by the criminal element in an effort to stay afloat, but he noted that the security forces were also reshuffling their deck. Gangs who were splintered are beginning to reconvene, and we are aware of that. The states of public emergency have demonstrated that we have saved lives and restored public order, Chang said. Chang's remarks come against a background of media reports indicating that the state of emergency in St. James is losing popularity among residents, who are reportedly disappointed with the effectiveness of the security measure. There are now states of emergency in 6 parishes: St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Andrew, Clarendon, and St. Catherine. Rise United team rejects one PMP's claim. The controversy surrounding the fight for the leadership of the People's National Party PMP deepened on Wednesday with the Dr. Peter Phillips-led one PMP team alleging that the Peter Bunting-led Rise United team has been involved in vote buying. 48 hours before PMP delegates elect its new president, Communications Director for one PMP, Lisa Anna, fired the first salvo yesterday as she responded to a question at a media briefing. Anna alleged that she had evidence that the Rise United team was paying out money to convince delegates to vote for Bunting. Our campaign has been one that has focused on keeping the integrity of the values and the principles of the People's National Party, said Anna. I can say with certainty and clarity and evidence that even in my constituency on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m., a leader of the Rise United team was there offering and giving and issuing envelopes containing $10,000. And every time he went to a delegate and left the envelope, I was called, charged Anna, who is a member of Parliament for St. Andrews South Eastern. But campaign manager for Rise United, Dr. Dayton Campbell, was quick to reject this claim, saying that his team was headed for victory and are not involved in giving anybody anything in exchange for their vote. In the political process, we are traveling around the country, engaging the delegates. We have designed a part of our campaign where we actually attempt to do house-to-house visits and to meet the delegates, and to not just call them on the phone, but have our leaders turn up at their homes in the remote parts of the island, said Campbell. He argued that this is something the delegates are not used to, but the Rise United team has found it effective to eyeball the delegates as it seeks their support. If I'm in a community and I'm speaking with a delegate and I buy a drink and the delegate has a drink as well, I think that is just comradeship on display. That is just showing compassion and humanity. I don't understand what would be the difficulty in doing that. As a matter of fact, I would scold the 1PMP members if when they're meeting with the delegates and if they're having lunch and they don't extend an invitation to the delegates to have lunch, added Campbell. He charged that the 1PMP team has seen that its numbers are not adding up, so it has resorted to trying to detract from the real issues of the campaign. We have run a campaign with a message that we're going to modernize the party, that we're going to create an endowment fund for those who have served the party well. And we have followed through on that so persons will know that we're not talking about it, but we are seeking to implement what is much needed, Campbell added. The endowment fund proposed by Rise United team has also become a bone of contention between the two camps, with chairman of the 1PMP campaign, KD Knight, on Tuesday, charging that it was a despicable attempt to use money to grab power. Yesterday, Knight kept up his broadside as he hinted that the concept of an endowment fund was Philip's idea, which a Rise United team borrowed and sought to dupe the workers of the party into believing that it had originated from them. Peter David Phillips, the leader, came up with an idea of how could the People's National Party assist those persons who have been the engine of success, and he commissioned a study to be done, and that brainchild was being nurtured and developed to be announced, said Knight. In July of this year, at our National Executive Council meeting, a report was presented at the stage at which the idea was reached, and persons applauded because they saw the progress. In recent hours, we have heard that there was a plan to have an endowment fund, which we applaud because it is our idea, Knight added, arguing that Phillips should be applauded for the idea. But Campbell scoffed at this claim, expressing disappointment that the 1PMP team could question a scheme designed to assist individuals who have worked hard for the party over many years and who have fallen on hard times. This idea has been out for 3 months, and 1PMP never said at any point during that time that it was their idea or that they were opposed to it, because they thought it was just a talk and we were not going to act on it, said Campbell, noting that his team had also proposed workshops to ensure that comrades can plan ahead and not fall on hard times. According to Campbell, this attempt to claim paternity for the scheme is as a result of the 1PMP team facing backlash from comrades who are upset the Philip backers have said it should not be implemented. We are in a crisis. Major General Anthony Anderson says states of public emergency SOE now in effect in sections of the island will remain so for as long as needed. In fact, the Commissioner of Police said at a Lions Club of Kingston meeting at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel yesterday that despite the naysayers, the police will use every available resource to keep Jamaicans safe. We will do it until the conditions change. The fact of the matter is that we have got a significant reduction in crime in 2018, and it is roughly the same now as last year, so it hasn't gone up tremendously. We are trying to hold it there, but it needs to drop significantly. 1,200 murders in a country of this size is way too many. We have people living in real fear, he said, pointing to the fact that although there is talk about the SOE and the zones of special operations ZOZOs are not effective, data says otherwise. Other numbers say that the SOE is effective. If you have a few killings in St. James, it's a whole lot less than when you didn't have those measures in place. And the fact that we actually have some killings still is indicative of the willingness and risk that people are willing to take to kill other people, he continued. The Commissioner said that before the first SOE was implemented in St. James, killings were at 182 per 100,000 people, which is far more than could be considered normal, as regional average for murders is 16 per 100,000 people. As soon as it stopped the last time, the numbers went up again. St. James has been violent for a while and is going to need long-term strategies, he said. He then stated that there is tremendous work taking place in the parish and that in 1 week there have been 22 convictions in the High Court. We have to use every tool in our toolbox to try and keep people safe in St. James, I go through there and you have an old lady saying, "Thank you. I can sleep on my bed." We need to change this and we need to do it collectively. We are in a crisis in terms of the number of people being killed in this country. France had a problem the other day. They had about 30 people being killed, and they are 2 years of an SOE without even batting an eyelid because French lives matter. We need to make sure ours do too, he said, pointing out that the states of emergency and the zones of special operations are not substitute for policing activities, but are to provide additional support. In the meantime, the top cops said members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force are working to improve their level of professionalism. The commissioner said he's cognizant that there is still more work to be done, adding that steps are being taken to polish cops' skills. The truth is, as a force, we have to get better with our interaction with the public, Anderson said. We need to be more understanding when people come into the police stations, and it is something we are working on. We have put in the measures necessary to be aware when things are going wrong. He said, too, that if police officers were to abide by 3 essential principles, there would be positive results. There are 3 fundamental things that our officers must keep in mind. The first is the rule of law. Police officers must obey the law. The second is respect for all. They have to give respect to get respect. And the third is to be a force for good, the commissioner said. He admitted that there will never be a way to train officers for every single situation they might face, but if they use the 3 fundamental principles as guides, their reactions to situations would be appropriate. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.